Imagine this. A 14-year-old girl walks into a $50 million Manhattan mansion for what she thinks is just a massage job. She leaves with $300 in cash and a lifetime of trauma. She's not alone. Dozens of girls, some as young as 13, get recruited the same way by other teens for quick money. Hidden cameras roll in every room. The owner, a man who rubs shoulders with presidents, princes, billionaires, and Hollywood stars. His private island, nicknamed Pedophile Island by locals years before anyone went to jail. His name, Jeffrey Epstein. And for decades, the most powerful people on earth protected him, until the truth started leaking out. This is the real story. From the very beginning to the files still dropping. In 2026, buckle up. You're not ready for what comes next. Jeffrey Epstein was born January 20, 1953, in working-class Brooklyn. No silver spoon, no Ivy League legacy. But he was sharp. Skipped 2 grades, taught himself physics and math, dropped out of college anyway. By 1974, he's teaching at the ultra-elite Dalton School in Manhattan, no degree. No teaching certificate, just charm and connections. One parent, Alan Greenberg, likes him enough to give him a job on Wall Street. In 1976, Epstein climbed fast. Options trader, limited partner in 4 years. Then, in 1981, he suddenly leaves Bear Stearns. Official reason? Personal. Real rumor? Insider trading or shady trades. Never proven. He starts his own money management firm in the mid-80s, claiming he only works for clients worth $1 billion. His golden ticket to rise. Les Wexner, Victoria's Secret billionaire. Epstein gets power of attorney over Wexner's money. Buys Wexner's 7-story NYC townhouse for $13.2 million. And builds a network that reads like a Forbes list crossed with a royal family tree. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Leon Black, Ehud Barak, Alan Dershowitz. He buys Little St. James Island in 1998, builds a temple-like structure on it. Locals whisper about girls coming and going on private planes and boats. They start calling it Orgy Island and Pedophile Island long before headlines. But the real storm brews in 2005. Palm Beach, Florida. A 14-year-old girl tells her stepfather she was paid $300 to massage a rich man at his El Brillo mansion. The massage turns sexual. Police start digging. They find more girls, dozens, recruited in a pyramid. One girl brings 2 friends, gets extra cash, ages 13 to 17. They describe topless or nude encounter as groping. Worse, Epstein's staff books their appointments. Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly helps recruit. Detectives find evidence of hidden cameras. Victims say Epstein bragged about filming powerful men. The Palm Beach police file felony charges. The FBI launches Operation Leap Year. Epstein's response: hire the best lawyers money can buy. Alan Dershowitz, Ken Starr, Jay Lefkowitz, Gerald Lefcourt. They attack the girls' credibility. Call them prostitutes, not victims. Like 2006, a grand jury is supposed to indict him on dozens of counts. Instead, they get presented with just one charge: solicitation of prostitution. Epstein is still free, still fine, still partying with presidents and princes. The system is already bending for him. And the worst part? This is just the beginning.
The Palm Beach investigation was heating up fast. By mid-2006, the local police had interviewed more than 30 underage girls. Their stories were consistent and horrifying: recruited for massages, paid $200 and $300 cash, then pressured into sexual acts. Many said Epstein used sex toys, demanded oral sex, or tried intercourse. Some were told to bring friends for bonuses. Ghislaine Maxwell was named repeatedly as the recruiter and scheduler. Hidden cameras were mentioned in almost every account. Palm Beach Police Chief Michael Ryder and lead detective Joseph Ricari believed they had enough for serious felony charges: unlawful sexual activity with minors, lewd and lascivious molestation, even possible human trafficking elements. They submitted the case to State Attorney Barry Christian. But something shifted. Instead of pushing for indictments on dozens of counts, Christian's office presented only a watered-down case to the grand jury in July 2006. The grand jury, mostly older men, heard limited testimony and indicted Epstein on just one count: felony solicitation of prostitution. No mention of minors, no trafficking, no cameras. Bail was set at a laughable amount. Epstein posted it the same day. The victims and detectives were furious. They felt the case was being sabotaged. Ricari later said the state attorney's office seemed more interested in protecting Epstein than prosecuting him. That's when the FBI stepped in harder. In 2006, 2007, the federal investigation expanded. Agents interviewed dozens more victims across states. They found evidence of girls being flown on Epstein's private jet to his properties in New York, New Mexico, Paris, and the Virgin Islands. Flight logs showed names like Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Naomi Campbell, and others, though no direct proof of wrongdoing on those flights was public then. Epstein's legal team went nuclear. They hired former U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta to negotiate behind the scenes. They also brought in heavy hitters: Alan Dershowitz, who allegedly received massages himself, later denied wrongdoing; Ken Starr, and others. They argued the victims were unreliable. Many had prior issues, and the girls were sex workers, not trafficked minors. In 2007-2008, Acosta met with Epstein's lawyers multiple times. What happened next became infamous. On September 2007, Epstein signed a secret non-prosecution agreement with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida. The deal was extraordinary. Epstein pleaded guilty in state court to 2 minor charges: 1 count of soliciting prostitution, 1 count of procuring a minor for prostitution. He got 18 months in county jail,
not federal prison,
but with hunt work release. But he could leave jail 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, to go to his office.
he served only 13 months off it, total.
Immunity was granted not just to Epstein, but to any potential co-conspirators, meaning Ghislaine Maxwell, his assistants, and possibly others were shielded from federal charges. The federal investigation was shut down. No more FBI interviews with victims, no raids on his properties. Victims were not notified of the deal until it was done, violating their rights under the Crime Victims' Rights Act. The plea was finalized in June 2008. Epstein checked into Palm Beach County Jail, but the work release meant he spent most days at his West Palm Beach office, returning at night. He even had a private wing in the jail. The victims only learned about the sweetheart deal months later, through the media. Many felt betrayed, some tried to challenge it, but the agreement was ironclad. Alex Acosta later defended the deal by saying Epstein belonged to intelligence. and the case was above his pay grade.
He said this in 2017 during his labor secretary confirmation hearings under Trump, then resigned in 2019 when the quote resurfaced after Epstein's arrest.
By 2008, Epstein was a convicted sex offender registered, but still rich, still connected, still free to travel. The island parties continued, the jet kept flying. The world thought the story was over. It was only getting started. After the sweetheart deal in 2008, Jeffrey Epstein quietly rebuilt his life. He was a registered sex offender, but money talked louder than any label. He kept the Manhattan townhouse, the private island, the New Mexico ranch, the Paris apartment. The Lolita Express kept flying. The parties continued, now just more discreet. From 2008 to 2018, the public story went quiet. Mainstream media barely touched it. Victims were silenced by fear, shame, or settlements. Epstein's lawyers had done their job. The federal case was dead, immunity granted to co-conspirators. Victims shut out. But the victims never forgot. In 2009, Virginia Gifford, then Roberts, filed a civil lawsuit against Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, alleging sexual abuse and trafficking. She claimed she was lent out to powerful men, including Prince Andrew. The case settled privately in 2015 for an undisclosed amount, later reported around $500,000. $1 million. Gifford signed a non-disclosure agreement, but later fought to speak out. Meanwhile, Epstein donated millions to Harvard, MIT, and other institutions. Often through foundations, he rubbed elbows with scientists like Marvin Minsky, Stephen Hawking, who visited the island once for a conference, and Bill Gates, who met Epstein multiple times post-conviction for philanthropy discussions. The turning point came in November 2018. The Miami Herald published a bombshell series called Perversion of Justice by reporter Julie K. Brown. She tracked down more than 80 victims, exposed a secret non-prosecution agreement, detailed how Acosta's office buried the case, revealed how victims' rights were violated. The series went viral, public outrage exploded. The old deal was back in the spotlight. In February 2019, the Miami Herald pushed again. Federal prosecutors in New York, Southern District, reopened the case on July 6, 2019. Epstein was arrested at Teterboro Airport, New Jersey, as he stepped off his private jet from Paris. The charges: sex trafficking of minors and conspiracy to traffic minors. The indictment alleged he recruited dozens of underage girls from 2002-2005, paid them for sex acts, and had them recruit others. FBI raids hit his Manhattan townhouse. They found thousands of explicit photos of young girls labeled CDs, young Nana cunt, cash diamonds in a locked safe. In the safe, fake passports, including one with Epstein's photo but a Saudi Arabia address. Epstein pleaded not guilty. Bail was denied. He was deemed a flight risk. He was sent to the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan, a notoriously bad federal jail. Ghislaine Maxwell went underground. She vanished from public view. Then came August 10, 2019. Epstein was found dead in his cell, hanging from a bed sheet tied to the bunk bed. The official ruling: suicide. But the circumstances were explosive. He was taken off suicide watch just 6 days after an earlier attempt. 2 guards assigned to check on him every 30 minutes falsified logs and were asleep or browsing the internet. Both cameras outside his cell malfunctioned that night. His cellmate was transferred the day before. Autopsy showed broken bones in his neck, common in hangings but also in strangulations. The medical examiner ruled suicide. Attorney General William Barr called it a perfect storm of screw-ups. Conspiracy theories exploded. Murder to silence and powerful people involved. Epstein didn't kill himself became a meme overnight. The case wasn't dead. It was just beginning. Victims came forward louder, lawsuits piled up, and the hunt for accomplices intensified. Epstein's death on August 10. 2019 didn't end the story. It detonated it. The Metropolitan Correctional Center was already under fire. Guards falsified logs, cameras malfunctioned, suicide watch was lifted too soon.
Cellmate removed. The broken hyoid bone in his neck fueled murder theories. Attorney General William Barr initially said he was appalled and ordered an investigation. The DOJ Inspector General later ruled it suicide, blaming serious failures at the jail, but no criminal conspiracy. Public didn't buy it. Epstein didn't kill himself. Became the biggest meme of the decade. Conspiracy theories pointed fingers at powerful people who might have wanted him silenced. Clinton, Trump, Prince Andrew, billionaires, intelligence agencies. No hard proof ever emerged, but the distrust was permanent. With Epstein gone, attention turned to Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell disappeared after his 2098 arrest. She was a ghost, hiding in luxury homes using fake names, reportedly living off millions from Epstein's estate. But the FBI was hunting on July 2. 2020 agents raided her hideout in Bradford, New Hampshire. She was arrested in the middle of the night. Charges: sex trafficking of minors, conspiracy, enticement of minors. Her trial started November 21 in New York. Prosecutors painted her as Epstein's partner in crime, recruiting, grooming, and sometimes participating in the abuse of underage girls. 4 victims testified. Met Epstein at 14 at a summer camp. Groomed by Maxwell. British woman who said Maxwell directed her to have sex with Epstein at 17. Started at 14, recruited by another teen, paid for sexual encounters. Testified Maxwell gave her topless massage at 16. The defense called it a witch hunt, said victims were after money, and Epstein was the real villain. Maxwell didn't testify. December 29, guilty on 5 of 6 counts: sex trafficking, conspiracy, transportation of minors for illegal sex acts. Not guilty on 1 enticement count. Sentenced June 2020, 20 years in prison. She's appealing, but she's locked up at FCI Tallahassee. Civil cases exploded. Victims sued Epstein's estate. Virginia Giuffre sued Prince Andrew for sexual abuse. Andrew settled out of court in 2022 for $16 million without admitting guilt. Lost his military titles and royal support. Other suits hit banks for allegedly enabling Epstein's trafficking by ignoring red flags. More names surfaced in depositions and flight logs. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Alan Dershowitz, while Wexner later dropped. Wexner. The floodgates were open. Victims spoke publicly. Lawsuits piled up. Epstein's black book and flight logs were dissected online. But the biggest question remained. Was there a client list? A blackmail archive? Hidden videos? That answer would take years to partially unfold.
After Maxwell's conviction in 2022, the public thought the worst was over. Epstein was dead. Maxwell was in prison. Prince Andrew had settled. Banks paid millions in settlements. But the real bombshell was still coming. The documents. Victims kept pushing in 2023. 2024, multiple lawsuits unsealed thousands of pages from Virginia Giuffre's cases against Maxwell, and others' names flooded the headlines. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Alan Dershowitz, Jean-Luc Brunel, model scout, died by suicide in jail in 2022 while facing rape charges. Wexner, and dozens of others, celebrities, politicians, academics. Most were just contacts or flight passengers. No client list ever surfaced in those files. Then came the big shift. During the 2024 U.S. election campaign, Donald Trump promised on multiple occasions to release the Epstein files, if re-elected, calling it the biggest cover-up in history. After his win and inauguration in January 2025, pressure mounted. In November 2025, Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act, mandating the DOJ and FBI to declassify and release all non-sensitive Epstein-related documents, videos, photos, and evidence within 60 days, except for victim identities and ongoing investigations. December 2025, first major drop. DOJ released over 1.5 million pages, flight logs, address books, emails, victim statements, property records, nothing explosive, no blackmail tapes, no definitive elite pedophile ring ledger, but it confirmed Epstein's web payments to recruiters, hidden safes, cameras, and properties. January 2026. Second wave, another 2 million plus pages, plus images and partial video stills from raids, photos of young girls, CDs labeled with names, but no public release of actual videos. FBI stated, no evidence of a formalized client list or systematic blackmail operation involving high-profile figures has been found beyond Epstein and Maxwell's direct actions. February 2026. Congress demanded unredacted versions. AG announced more releases coming, but redactions remained for ongoing matters. Maxwell's team filed appeals claiming new evidence in the files could exonerate her. Victims' lawyers say the releases are still too censored. No new arrests or charges against third parties. What's left hanging in 2020 seats? Rumored blackmail videos. Some claim they exist, others say they were destroyed or never existed. Intelligence ties. Acosta's belongs to intelligence. Comment still fuels Mossad, CIA theories. Amelie's footage. DOJ says most is victim-related or irrelevant. Ongoing civil suits. More banks and individuals settling quietly. Epstein's story is no longer just about one man. It became a mirror for power, privilege, and how systems protect the elite. Victims got some justice. Maxwell behind bars, millions in compensation. But the full truth, still partially locked away. Many believe it will stay that way forever.